My girlfriend somehow kept forgetting to tag me in her Instagram, yet she never missed a day posting about her thriving single life. When I finally brought it up, she looked at me like I was crazy and said, "Not everything is about you, you know." I didn't respond. I just turned and walked out. About 10 days later, she turned up on my doorstep with her mom in tow, both asking me to hear her out. Before I get into that, let me just say I appreciate you being here. It really does mean a lot. Also, quick thing, only 8% of the people watching are actually subscribed. If these kinds of stories resonate with you and you want to help keep them going, that one little click helps more than you'd think. Anyway, I've never really been one for social media. At 41, I come from that era where you remembered your friends' phone numbers and actually called people. Sure, I've got accounts, but I barely post. Maybe once a month, tops, and it's usually just a shot of my rebuilt '67 Mustang or some handmade furniture from my workshop. My life, for the most part, happens offline. Sienna, on the other hand, was a whole different story. She was 15 years younger and practically lived on Instagram. We met about 8 months ago at a barbecue hosted by a mutual friend. What caught my attention was her energy, her laugh, and the fact that she seemed genuinely into my old man stories about woodworking and restoring cars. Yeah, she was gorgeous, but what really drew me in was how real she seemed. The first couple of months felt amazing. We went on hikes, checked out new restaurants, and spent long weekends up at my lake cabin. I even introduced her to my brother and his kids, brought her to family dinners with my folks, and she blended in effortlessly. Everyone loved her. She had a quick wit and this warm, inviting smile that won people over instantly. But then I started noticing something off. Every time we were together, Sienna would take a ton of pictures, like dozens. But none of them ever made it to her feed if I was in them. Her Instagram stayed packed with solo selfies, girls' night snapshots, and perfectly staged shots of food and sunsets. The captions always hinted at her being this carefree, independent single woman living her best life. At first, I brushed it off. I figured maybe she just wanted to keep some things private. But as the months went by, it got harder to ignore, especially the night I overheard her friends joking about her secret boyfriend at a party. She laughed it off, saying he's not a secret. I just don't post my personal life. The irony? Her entire life was online except for me. She documented everything, her coffee runs, her skincare routine, even her gym check-ins. Everything but the man she claimed to be in a relationship with. Things really came to a head last month. We had this amazing Sunday, started at the farmer's market, then I taught her how to use the lathe in my workshop, and we wrapped it up with dinner at this trendy new bistro downtown. She was snapping pictures the whole time, took a bunch of selfies of the two of us that honestly came out great. Later that evening, she was showering at my place, and her iPad plugged in on the coffee table lit up with a notification. Some girl named Maya had commented, "Living your best single life." So jealous. I got curious and glanced at the screen. Sienna had posted a photo dump from our day, shots from the market, the wooden bowl we made, cocktails from dinner. But not one single picture of me. The caption? Sunday Funday Adventures. Single girl summer. Living my best life. When she came out of the bathroom, I asked her straight up, "Hey, I saw your new Instagram post. You used a bunch of hashtags about being single, just kind of caught me off guard." Right away, she went on the defensive. "Were you snooping through my phone?" "No," I said. "Your iPad lit up. I just happened to see the notification." I told her I was just surprised she framed the whole day as a solo adventure even though we spent it together. "They're just hashtags, Grant," she snapped. "It's for engagement. It's not that deep." She rolled her eyes and yanked the iPad away. "That's not the point," I said. "You never post pictures of us 8 months and not a single one. And you post all the time. Multiple times a day. Not everything has to revolve around you," she snapped again. "You're acting obsessive. It's just Instagram. Who cares?" I might not have cared if she wasn't going out of her way to present herself as single online. That part did bother me. "What bothers me," I said, "is that you're acting like I'm the issue for asking a pretty reasonable question." That's when she hit me with the classic reversal. "You're insecure. That's your problem." It was the same pattern I'd noticed before, even if I hadn't wanted to admit it. Anytime I brought up something that bothered me, even calmly, I was the one overreacting. I didn't yell. I didn't fight. I just stood up, nodded, and headed for the door. "Where are you going?" she barked. "Home," I said. "This is your home. Then maybe it's time for you to head back to yours." "You're seriously kicking me out? Over Instagram?" Her voice was full of disbelief. "No, Sienna. Not over Instagram. Over respect. Over honesty. Over the fact that you clearly want to live 2 lives, one with me and one where I don't exist. You're being ridiculous, she said, already stuffing things into her bag. Maybe, I replied. But I'm too old for games. She slammed the door on her way out. Less than an hour after she stormed out, my phone lit up with messages. You're seriously blowing this out of proportion. It's just social media. Can't believe you're this insecure. Call me when you grow up. I didn't reply. Not a single word. Instead, I did something I probably should have done a long time ago. I started digging into her online presence. What I found stopped me cold. Turns out it wasn't just her pretending to be single on Instagram. She was active on not one but 2 dating apps. Fresh profiles, photos taken inside my house, in my kitchen, even one of her wearing the necklace I'd given her for her birthday. I recognized the apps right away. My younger brother had shown them to me months ago when he was still single. Back then, I made a profile just to see how the apps worked. Never used it, but I remembered the setup well enough. So I searched her name, age, job, and city, and within minutes, there she was. 2 fully active profiles, both recently updated. And then I saw the messages. Dozens of chats with some guy named Ethan, flirty texts, inside jokes, even plans to meet up. Judging by the timestamps, she'd been sending these while lying right beside me in bed. I didn't get mad. Instead, something inside just clicked into place. A kind of calm, steady clarity took over. I took screenshots of everything. Then I blocked her phone, socials, email, the whole 9 yards. I didn't confront her. Didn't send a long message or try to shame her. I just shut the door. Quietly and completely. Next, I called the resort where I'd booked her birthday getaway, the one she'd been hinting about for months. I canceled the reservation and got my $2,200 deposit refunded. Then I canceled the custom necklace I'd commissioned from a local jeweler. Took back the designer purse I'd already wrapped and hidden in my closet. The next morning, I changed the passcode to my home security system. She'd had it since month 3, back when she started staying over regularly. Also changed the passwords on all 9 of my Netflix and Hulu accounts. Little things, but they brought a strange sense of closure. What I didn't do was post about it. No vague memes, no callouts, no drama. I just vanished from her life the same way she'd erased me from her digital one. 3 days went by. Then 5. A full week. Nothing from her, but mutual friends said she was telling people I'd lost my mind over Instagram. Claimed I'd had some kind of breakdown. I let it go. Didn't defend myself, didn't chase rumors. Didn't need to. Then came day 10. The doorbell rang. I checked the camera and there she was, Sienna, standing on my porch, red-eyed and miserable, next to an older woman who looked just like her but worn by time. Had to be her mother. Funny thing, I'd never even met the woman, not once in our 8 months together. I almost didn't answer. But curiosity got the better of me. I opened the door and stood in the frame, making it clear they weren't coming in. Grant, please, Sienna said, her voice cracking. Just give me a chance to explain. This is my mom, Linda. She really wanted to meet you. Linda stepped forward, offering a hand. I'm sorry this is how we're meeting. Sienna's told me so many good things about you. I didn't take her hand. Really? I said. Because I wasn't aware she talked about me to anyone, certainly not online. In fact, she's gone out of her way to act like I didn't exist. Linda turned to Sienna, her brow furrowing. You told me this was all just a misunderstanding. Something about a few pictures? That's exactly what it is, Sienna cut in quickly. Grant blew it way out of proportion. He saw some hashtags and lost it. I didn't say a word. Just pulled out my phone, found the screenshots, and handed it to Linda. Dating profiles. Flirty conversations. Instagram captions where she called herself single, all while we were supposedly committed. Linda's face changed as she scrolled through the evidence. Oh, Sienna, she said softly. They're private. Sienna snapped, trying to snatch the phone back. Linda held it away. They're publicly posted on dating apps, I said calmly. And she was messaging other guys while in my bed. Linda slowly handed the phone back to me, clearly torn between embarrassment and disappointment. I think we should go, she said quietly. No, wait, Grant, please, Sienna begged. I messed up. Those profiles were old, I just forgot to delete them. And Ethan? I asked. He's just a friend. The Instagram stuff, it's just part of my brand. I'm building a following, and single girl content gets more engagement. I blinked. Your brand, I repeated flatly. Well, good news, your brand's doing great. Your relationship, however, is done. I started to close the door, but Linda reached out to stop it. Please, she said. I know this is a lot, but... With all due respect, Linda, I said, meeting her eyes, this isn't about being hurt. This is about self-respect. Your daughter didn't make some honest mistake. She chose to live a double life for 8 straight months and then tried to gaslight me for catching on. I don't care how I feel about her anymore. That kind of deception has no place in my life. Then I closed the door gently but firmly and watched the security feed as Linda quietly led a crying Sienna back to their car. As their car pulled away, I felt like a weight I didn't even know I was carrying finally slid off my shoulders. Later that night, my phone started lighting up again, but this time it wasn't her. It was her friends. Calling me cold, cruel, saying I'd humiliated her in front of her mother. Turns out Linda was so shaken by everything I showed her, she skipped the lunch they'd planned and took Sienna straight home instead. I ignored the messages, just like I had before. But I did send one short text to Travis, the mutual friend who introduced us. Take a look at Sienna's Instagram. Search the hashtag #SingleGirlSummer, I wrote. Now line up those posts with the days you know we were together. Didn't take long for the truth to do its thing. Within a few hours, the story had made its way through our social circle. The same people who were sending angry texts suddenly went silent. Then Travis called me. He apologized for ever introducing us, said he had no idea she was capable of something like that. About 2 weeks later, I got a certified letter in the mail from Sienna. Inside was a handwritten apology and a check for exactly $2,200, the amount I dropped on the resort before canceling it. The letter said she'd found out about the refund through Travis, who had apparently told her exactly what she'd cost me. I tore the check in half and sent it back with a simple note. My silence isn't for sale. It's been a month since all that. From what I've heard through mutual friends, Sienna's brand took a hit. Turns out a lot of her followers bought into that whole authentic single girl lifestyle image she was selling. And when it came out that the whole thing was fake, fabricated while she was actually in a relationship, well, it didn't sit too well. Some of her sponsorships even fell through. To her credit, her mom Linda reached out again, this time on her own. She apologized not just for Sienna's actions, but also for showing up at my place like that. I kept my reply short but respectful, thanked her for the note, wished them both well, and made it clear the chapter of my life was over. And me? I'm good. Actually, I'm better than good. I finally finished the restoration on my Mustang. Took it for a solo drive up the coast, just me, the road, and some classic rock. And I've started dating again. Met someone new at a furniture expo of all places. Her name's Elena. And on our second date, she asked if we could take a photo together for her Instagram. Funny how full circle things can come. Sometimes walking away without making a scene says more than yelling ever could. And sometimes the best kind of revenge isn't about getting even, it's about getting free. Edit, this blew up overnight. Let me clear up a few things. Yeah, I probably should have seen the red flags sooner. If someone shares every part of their life online except their relationship, that's suspicious. Lesson learned. No, I didn't broadcast her dating profiles to the world. I showed her mother because she showed up at my front door claiming this was all just some misunderstanding over photos. The rest? That spread on its own. Truth has a way of doing that. About the age gap, yes, 15 years is a big difference. But Sienna's 26, not 16. She's a grown adult. No manipulation here, just two people making choices. The $2,200 wasn't the issue. It was never about the money, it was the principle. And yes, for everyone asking, Elena knows about all of this. I told her up front. This time, I'm starting with honesty. Update. 3 months later, funny how life works sometimes. Remember that custom bracelet I mentioned? The one I canceled? It was supposed to have coordinates engraved on it, the spot by the lake where I first told Sienna I loved her. When I canceled the order, the jeweler reached out. He said he'd already started working on it and asked if I wanted to change the engraving instead. So I did. I had him swap the location to my parents' lake house, the one where I spent every summer growing up. Last weekend, I gave that bracelet to Elena. Yeah, the same Elena I met at the furniture show. We've been seeing each other exclusively for almost 3 months now. She shares photos of us sometimes. I still don't check social media much, but more importantly, she introduces me as her boyfriend. To her friends. Her family. Online. Offline. Sienna did eventually send another letter. This one felt more real, no check, just accountability. She owned up to being dishonest and manipulative. Said she was sorry. I appreciated it. I sent back a short note wishing her well and hoping she meant it. I'm told her Instagram has changed. Less fluff, more honesty. No more single girl tags. Some people say she's been doing real soul searching. Good for her. Linda even sent a holiday card with a thoughtful message about second chances and learning from mistakes. I respect her for standing by the truth even when it meant confronting her daughter's lies. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? This whole mess started because I wasn't included in someone's perfectly polished digital life. And now I'm with someone who proudly includes me in hers. But the truth is, it's not really about Instagram. It's about integrity. It's about honesty. It's about knowing that the person next to you shows up for you in real life and online. Some lessons cost you a lot, but sometimes they're exactly what you need. For both of us, I think this one was.